Now for our feature today, we're going to create a snow scene by moonlight with a portrait of an oak tree. Now we're going to use a different kind of paper today. We're going to use a toned paper. I'm using like a deep blue to create the feeling of nighttime. So let's get started, and I'll use my color sticks, and I'll use powder white, that's what it's called. And a little bit below halfway on this page, I'm going to start, and I'm going to create a piece of land, and I'm going to go over to past half going this way. There you go, that's all you have to do. Now I'm going to use a ruler, and you don't have to if you don't want to, but get a straighter line this way, but you get the feeling of looseness if you don't. It's all up to you. And that's going to be the horizon line in the back. And over here we're going to create some more snow. Now that we've got all that, we're going to create some mountains. Now watch how you do this. They're cone-like forms, a big one in the center, and that's all you have to do. Now once you have all this drawn, we're going to fill it in. And I'm going to lay my color stick on its side, cover a lot of ground that way, and if you go over that line, you can correct it as you go back. Now this is a sphere. The top of this piece of ground here is a sphere-like form, and we're going to go back and shade that accordingly in a moment. Fill these in, and again, you can just fix that up as you go. Now we're going to go up and down strokes for the mountains. And we'll add some tone first, and then we'll go back and add some shading. And the next thing we're going to do is put the moon in. And in this case, it's going to be the light source. And when you're shading things, you must always be aware of from which direction the light is coming from. So right here, we're going to create a circle. See how I make that shape before I even lower the chalk to the paper, and I get that nice shape. There you go, color that in. All right, now we're ready to go back with a little bit of blue and start putting some shading in. So if the light source is coming this way, these cone-like forms would be darker on the side away from the light. So we lay it on its side and we'll carve some chunks out. See that little peak right there? We'll make a little line like that, then fill it in. And we can do that over here, and we lay it down, and as I go down, I'm moving that chalk a little bit to get some character to that line. You want to make your mountains look as craggy, and I love that word, as you can. We'll do some more in here, watch. Bearing down on that side, and this side's a little thinner, creating the illusion of depth. All right, a little bit more on that side. All right, now we want to create some trees in the distance, and I'm going to use a sharper point of that same color blue. And up and down strokes like this will create that illusion for us. That's called aerial perspective when you see something in the distance like that, kind of in a misty color. See, when you take things step by step, it's not intimidating at all. All right, now I'm going to take some of that same blue and lay it on its side and create some water right in the middle here. And later on, we'll add some reflections. Right now, I'm going to use a little bit of white and create some clouds. Now, see what I do? Very lightly in the background, go over the moon. And now let's shade this area right here. Now, as I said, this is going to be the top of a ball or a sphere. And if the light is coming up from this direction, this side would be a little bit darker, giving the illusion of roundness. And over here, well, same thing. These rounded edges here would be not seeing as much light. Let's fix up this. Clean this up a little bit. All right, now it's time to put in our tree. Now, a tree is a cylinder form, and we'll build it piece by piece. And we'll have some character. Change direction this way. Now go back up and go right off that page. And then tapering as we go. Now, the roots are actually cone shapes. I'll put another one right over here, digging into this ground, supporting this massive oak. Put another one right there. All right, now we'll draw some limbs. And you want to bend that line and get as much character to your tree as you can. Okay, now we'll make a big branch coming off this way, even going up past that moon. And we'll double that line, tapering as we go, twisting a little bit. And that's what gives you that irregular line. Let's do another one over here. See, I'm twisting it. It's a little bit like it's out of control. Now, not very out of control. You're still controlling it, but it's kind of doing what it wants there. It gives you that nice shape. Now, I'm going to use some black here. Now, this limb is totally away from the light, being blocked by the tree. So what I'll do is do it the whole thing in black, because it's completely in the shadow. Okay, now it's time to fill it all in. I'll fill the black one in first. All right. Now, let's take some of that brown again and fill in the whole tree that we've already drawn. See, we've created our own coloring book. Go right up that shape, and we can clean it up here a little bit. That's the good thing about using these color sticks. If you go past the line, you can just go over the rest of the drawing and it covers it, just like when we created the tree. Up here. All right, now that we've got that filled in, we can go back and shade it. Well, let's get those roots. Using the black again, if this is the side away from the light, this is the side that gets the darkness. And I'm bearing down with a little bit more hand pressure on the left-hand side, and it gradually gets a little lighter, all in one step. Let's go back over that a little bit more. Go up. Now this branch over here, the bottom part wouldn't be seeing the light, so we darken that in. Same thing on this branch here. The bottom part does not see as much light. Getting a little lighter as it gets towards the top. And you see how that just makes it come to life a little bit? Now we're going to add some shading to the roots, which if they're cones, well, this one here might even be totally in the darkness. And this one here on this side. Now we have to add some texture to the bark. And when you have a lot of time, you can go back and really go to town with this. And right here, let's put a big knot hole. Some lines around it. Some more texture. That's coming together. Now, if this moon was hitting it this way, we'd also be casting a shadow. And a shadow extends out of the shaded side, taking on the shape on which it falls. In this case, is round. A little bit in there from that root. And I like that. Now what we're going to do is take a little bit of white and lay it on its side and have some pulling down strokes, and we'll get some reflection in the water. Watch this. Straight down, try to go as vertical as you can. And see how that just comes to life a little bit more? All right. Now, I like the way that looks, but look what a frame or a mat does to enhance a drawing like this. And you could give this to your family or friends, and they can hang it on the wall, and it's something you can be proud of.